Okay, Wednesday, 25th of March, 2026. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. The 6 lenses that switch on with age. Now this is a very interesting new idea, new little thing that I've come to realise as of late, very recently. So 6 lenses, 6 ways to interpret the past even, and understand nature, or human nature, more exact, as we age and mature and grow. So one, the incentive lens, we understand, you stop moralising and start mapping payoffs. Oh, interesting. You start to understand why people do things, why they don't do things. What's their incentive, what's their goal, what's their plan. The constraints, because they're kind of the opposite in a way. The constraints, limitations, limiting factors at the time, like level of naivety, a physical barrier in some fashion, or time, common one, wealth, health, you name it, constraints. And those two I think are important to understand in life, just in general, that incentives and constraints determine a lot of things. Like I did a video a few days ago about incidentalism, to say if it's going to happen within reason, it probably is going to happen. So other one is status. Who has to be cut down so others don't feel small? And yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting, I think, especially when people have an ego to them, or a level of narcissism to them, then status is important. I understand. Reputation, we could say, that's important. Who has to suffer reputationally, or status, or even identity in some way for you to benefit, or vice versa? Interesting. Attachment or fear lens. You start seeing anger as a costume for fear. Interesting. Yeah, anger, I suspect, and that's stress. And when we're angry and stressful, we don't think as clearly, we think more emotionally. And that emotionality creates certainty by it feeling right, it feels right, but powerful. Again, these are bare human emotion, anger, and many others. Natural. Understand human nature, we could say. Economics constraint. A lot of personality differences were actually cash flow differences. Yeah, that's interesting. Limiting factor again, it's just limiting factor. Money, fair enough. And that's one thing about life we have to kind of just accept. Humans want to be paid, humans want money. We could go into economics and how money is time in an abstracted form with regards to you spend 1 hour of your life over here, you get paid for it, then you can do stuff with that money in a sense of moving energy, or in this case time, in the sense of moving an battery and energy moves. Energy can't be transferred or destroyed, can't be destroyed or created, only transferred. In the same way we could say time can be converted into money, can be converted into doing stuff, can be converted into literal fuel to travel places, or devices, or food, whatever else, to do stuff, to have stuff, to be in places and beyond. So yes, cash flow differences, yeah, powerful stuff. A narrative lens. Everyone's running a story about themselves. Whoa. With maturity, you can see the story and the incentives underneath. Now this is very interesting in a sense of in a way it's identity. What people tell themselves, what their goal is, what level of clarity they have. Wow. What they want to have, where they want to be, what they don't want to have. Because remember, I did a video a month or so ago now, talking about how real freedom is veto power, able to say no to things, able to say, no, I don't want that, no, I don't want this, just as much as it is able to say yes. Yes, I want this, yes, I want that. I want to be here in nature, so here we are, here I am, and I made it happen, things like that. I don't want to be over there, so therefore I'm not over there, I'm over here, in the same way. So narratives, that's powerful. What's that? What do they say to themselves in the mirror, we could say? Powerful stuff. And we could say, when you rerun the past with better lenses, you often realise some people were not confused, they were strategic. Some love was conditional. That's a whole other conversation. That's a fascinating conversation. Some principles were justifications. Because you've got to be a bit careful, I think, blurring justifications and principles, because it kind of goes into the Puritan fallacy. I did a video about that, a year or two ago. Meaning, I want that, I don't have it, so to cope, I'm going to say, at least I'm a good person, at least I go to church on Sunday, I'm going to justify it in some moralistic, emotional way. And some friendships with utility. Now that's fascinating, because I remember watching an interesting documentary about a year or so ago, and it said that there was two interesting things that were certain in life: death and, we could say, estrangement, so to speak, where people go from relationships decay essentially. People go from being a friend to an acquaintance to being a stranger. It's that song, someone that I used to know, really. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. We could say it's that. That's certain. Because I remember people from schools, university, you name it, work. I've not seen them in years. Where are they today? Stuff like that. Utility, in a sense of, at a deeper level, we could say that men especially are collaborative beings, where they're only really going to work together as a collaboration. Once that collaboration's over, they have no real incentive, so to speak, incentive to be together, cash flow or otherwise, or reputation or task or project otherwise, things like that. Interesting. So we could then say you were probably naive in predictable ways as well. Everyone was. Not stupid, just operating with fewer tools. Wow. So then you can look at the past in different ways, because now you look back and you have different tools, different abilities to understand it, different lenses to view it through. It's fascinating. And then in the future, it'll be the same with today. It'll be the same with this moment in time, 20 or so years ago, analysing it, thinking, look how much things have changed, look at this, look at that, wow. A different world, different life. Then you can analyse things differently and say, that back then, March 2026, things were completely different than today in the future. Wow, yeah. Yes. And also fundamentally shed naivety as well. Not to be naive of the past, of the different lenses of cash flow, incentives, or constraints and narratives, reputation and all the rest, identity, not to be naive about these things. And as you mature, and as you develop these lenses, able to see different things, different layers of reality happening in front of you, you ultimately shed naivety. You become wiser, faster, stronger, smarter. Yeah, powerful, powerful stuff. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.